Okay, next we'll go to my team, Notre Dame, in just like a game that was completely drunk. What was this game even?
Mhm.
Notre Dame beats Virginia Tech on the road, 32-29. Came down to a field goal with 17 seconds left, I think, something like that.
Mhm.
Um, this game was so weird. I'll share some of my thoughts, but as the neutral observer, I want to hear some of yours as well.
Yep.
So let's go ahead. Tell me what you thought about this game.
So I like this one was one I was watching snippets of it the whole time, and then like it kept getting closer. But I yeah, I the two quarterback system kind of worked. like like Jack Cohn was not good at all to start out. Like he was it was just a struggle. And then like Buckner comes in and like provided like kind of a spark. And then didn't he have two interceptions? I think I saw
Yeah,
two of them.
should have been
And
three actually, but
yeah,
one was dropped.
and right, and then I don't know, to have Cohn come back in late, throw the touchdown, then the 2 point conversion, which was miraculous, and then yeah, I was very like I was impressed. Like Virginia Tech's good. Like Virginia Tech's a good football team, probably better than we thought in the preseason. So Virginia Tech's playing well, and for Notre Dame just to kind of keep plugging away and kind of keep winning some of these tougher games. Because hey, this is a road game at Lane Stadium, which is a tough place to play. Like it's not Iowa, it's not Kinnick Stadium. It's not in Iowa, but it's tricky. Like there's legitimate home field advantage for Virginia Tech, and to have to go in there and beat them on the road like that is a big win. And I think maybe that's kind of what I took away from it is you got a tough win in a place where I think a lot of teams would get tripped up on, and you didn't.
Yeah, and you mentioned the environment. One thing I will say, just right off the bat before I forget, Tyler Buckner, the true freshman, he was not great in a lot of areas, but I will say just one thing I was encouraged by is the atmosphere was definitely nothing. Like he handled it like a veteran would. That was not too much for him. He did sail a few throws and stuff. So, maybe the decision making is just it's a little bit true freshman-y. And he has a little bit of accuracy issues and stuff. Um, yeah, I really think that these quarterbacks for Notre Dame, we thought maybe Drew Pine would start. He never even played.
Mm-mm.
Sounded like he had a really bad week in practice. They went with Jack Cohn. I actually kind of expect Jack Cohn to sort of be the guy from here on out the rest of the season.
Mm-hmm.
But my point is this: I don't know that it matters that much who the quarterback is, as long as the play calling is makes sense and the game plan makes sense. They start out this game like they always do for some reason. They have this just need this year to establish the run every game. You can just count on it. The first three possessions on of on first and second down, they're going to run 80% of the time. It doesn't make any sense. It's never a good strategy, especially not when you have an offensive line that really sucks at run blocking.
Mm-hmm.
And props to them. They made a few little personnel changes. Andrew Kristoff came in at left guard. Their pass blocking was actually serviceable, like decent in this game. The run blocking is still a problem. The one time where it looked decent, I think I can say decent, is when Buckner was in the game, just because the quarterback threat, the running threat from the quarterback opens up running lanes a little bit more for the running back because yeah, defenses have to play both of them. When Jack Cohn is in the game, they don't even care about him. They're only focused on the running back. Anyway, my whole point is Tommy Rees needs to see the strength of this team, especially with Jack Cohn, is the quick passing game. When they needed scores late and the clock was running out, it was little short drops, get the ball out quickly, hurry up. They were snapping the ball with 30 seconds on the play clock, and they marched down the field. It was beautiful. The beginning of the game, it was basically like the offense they were running last year when they had the second best offensive line in the country. It, it was it was just rough to watch because I believe Tommy Rees is a pretty smart guy. Like he has a good offensive mind. I just don't know I'm a little surprised that a 30-year-old offensive coordinator is not more in tune with analytics. And analytics say you're actually better off passing on early downs and sprinkling the runs in later, just because then the defense doesn't know what's coming. And
Mm-hmm.
with Notre Dame right now, the defense can pretty much key on the run on first and second down because
Right.
that's all they do. And suddenly it's 3rd and 6 over and over and over again. And that's just a really tough position to put any quarterback, especially one who cannot get away from a pass rush. So, yeah, I guess that my whole point with all this rant is just that the quarterback play, it's not amazing. Like, they don't have any All-Americans, at least not now. Maybe Buckner becomes that in the future. But it's decent. And they just need to call the plays, run the offense to the quarterback's strengths. If it's Jack Cohn in there, which I expect from now on, run hurry up, pass on 70% of the plays. I don't care. Just that's what's working. That's what you do. No, it's not important how the yards come and the points come. It's important that you get the yards and the points. Am I wrong?
No. This is George goes through this. We go through this like weekly. This is a weekly thing for me, where it goes run on first down, run on second down, and you pass it probably on play action on a third down. It's so frustrating. I think it's an old school philosophy. I think some coaches like they were probably taught that like if you run the ball like you keep chopping and the hacks that you take in the first and second quarter you're gonna wear them down in the third and the fourth. And I think it's much better. I think you played. I think the defense. Because I know what's coming, so the defense obviously knows what's coming. If I can sit there and call the plays, I'm sure they can. Like, of course they can. So I think that teams would be more well suited to, hey, why not take a 5 yard out on first down? Why not? Then it's 2nd and 5, and then you can run the ball on second, or you can go play action and like suddenly the whole playbook's at your disposal. And instead of trying to get to the end and you have 3rd and 7 because you got stuffed on the first 2 downs. And then there's so much pressure on a quarterback who hasn't completed a pass in a while. He's not in rhythm, and he has to make a big time throw on 3rd down. Whereas if you start out with a nice easy completion up short, suddenly the defensive is having to react. They're having to make adjustments. They don't get to just come flying downhill like they do every time you run the ball. And I'm glad to know that Notre Dame struggles with this too, because sometimes I feel like Georgia might be like one of the only teams that struggles with it. And it's an old school coaching philosophy. Like, I really believe that you have to like to truly establish the run. They think that you have to be able to run the ball on first and second down, and like I just don't think it's true, because in reality, a quick pass to the flanks, even bubble screens and quick screens, it's pretty much a running play. Like, that's almost a running play anymore. Use that, like incorporate that. Like, if it helps you to feel better about yourself, call screens runs and put them down in your stat book as runs, and maybe you can feel better about yourself that you're running the ball still, and that way they can go tell their old coaching mentors that they still run the ball. Because in reality, I think that's what's doing this, because it's not effective. Like, it's really not. There's something to a quarterback being in rhythm and being able to step consistently into a ball and on first and second down and feel confident about that pass. And he's going to be much better on third downs then. He's going to be much better if he's in a rhythm.
And I might sound like I'm anti-run. I'm not. I'm anti-stupid run for the sake
Yeah.
of running.
Yeah.
And okay, so here's just one. We know more about the sport of football than we used to. Just not just me and you. I'm saying like the community of people that
Everyone.
follow this stuff.
Sure.
How often have we heard in our lifetime, you need to establish the run and then play action will be effective? How often have you heard that?
Almost every game, as a Georgia fan. Almost every game.
If you look up the numbers, play action is effective no matter what the situation is. It does not matter if you have had nothing but 1 yard runs. It doesn't matter if you haven't run the ball yet. Play action works. No one in college runs play action to the point of diminishing returns. You do not need to establish the run in order to open up the play action. You just don't. Run play action on first down. It works. Sorry. I guess it was more frustrating because earlier in the day I watched Texas and Oklahoma. I watched Arkansas and Ole Miss.
Yeah.
Just
creative, huh?
Just
Creative.
put up points like you wouldn't believe.
I have no idea what's coming. I couldn't tell you what's coming.
Exactly. And it's fast and it's effective both in the passing game and in the running game.
They run the ball too.
Exactly.
They run the ball really well. All four of those teams ran the crap out of the ball. It's crazy for way more yards than Georgia did.
You can be a good and even great running team without constantly running the ball on first and second down. It's crap that I'm just tired of seeing, especially as someone who my team has been pretty good on defense now for like 5 years, and we still have not figured out how to freaking score. So, I'm a little emotional about this one.
Hey, it's just good to hear someone else like feel the same way because sometimes like you go and you watch those games. For a while I thought, hey, like this is only the Big 12 that can do that. Like only the Big 12, like they have like those crazy guys and they, they have all like these rocket scientists and they come up with all these neat plays. And then like you have Lane Kiffin going against Kendall Briles or Jeff Lebby calling against Kendall Briles. Some combination of the two. And it's just like those are creative offensive minds. And like you have zero clue what's coming. Zero clue. And that means the defense is totally on their heels. Completely. Like the defense is having to react. The defense doesn't get to just run downhill and just come in and just be ready. You're putting the linebackers in just like it's awful to be a linebacker against those guys. They're putting them in all kinds of binds with, just like all the eye candy that's going on, the motion laterally, plus with the RPOs where you're just sucking them up and then you're throwing right in behind them. Like that is good offense. And I think a lot of the time that like you can run the ball and you can still be creative running the ball. Like you don't have to just you don't have to get the kickoff, make a fair catch, go to the 25 and do the complimentary dive to the left guard. Like you don't have to do that. You really don't. You can be much more creative than that. And I think it's an old school philosophy and I think hopefully sooner rather than later that's going to be gone because it's just not effective. It's really not. It's painful.
Yeah, for sure. And last week I kind of called for Jeff Quinn, and I think also Dell Alexander, the offensive line and wide receiver coaches at Notre Dame. I pretty much called for their firings last week at the end of the season, like they need to go. I'm not quite there with Tommy Rees. Like I do want to see like how this plays out. Yeah. What do they do the rest of the year? Presumably with Jack Cohn. But if we see more of the same going forward, then get rid of them. You can hire Kendall Briles or Jeff Lebby away from Arkansas and Ole Miss. I guarantee you can. Yeah. Those are not on the same tier as Notre Dame, just program wise. Right. And if third tier programs like that can have such great offensive coordinators, then I know Notre Dame can afford one. Go get one because there are minds like that out there. And this game shouldn't have been close. I really believe if Notre Dame has a better offensive game plan, this is a pretty sizable win here, in my opinion.